Hello, everyone. My name is Mitch, and I am an alcoholic, and I have your daily reflections for February 7th. This one is titled A Path to Faith. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith, and every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to Him or her. That comes from 12 Steps, 12 Traditions, page 33. My last drunk had landed me in the hospital, totally broken. It was then that I was able to see my past float in front of me. I realized that, through drinking, I had lived every nightmare I had ever had. My own self-will and obsession to drink had driven me into a dark pit of hallucinations, blackouts, and despair. Finally beaten, I asked for God's help. His presence told me to believe. My obsession for alcohol was taken away, and my paranoia has since been lifted. I am no longer afraid. I know my life is healthy and sane. I like this one a lot because I can reflect on it, on where I'm at in my sobriety right now. And right now I'm still dealing with certain things on a daily basis, but it's good to be dealing with these things. So I'm looking at how I react to situations. I'm seeing what I can do when I'm feeling anxious or depressed or lonely, whatever the case may be. And I've spent a lot of time in these 2 years studying and getting better at all this stuff, and I'm realizing how they're just feelings and we are not our feelings. So when I'm feeling that anxiety and that depression, I can look at myself outside of that feeling and know that it is not me. And that's a great position to be in when you get to that point where you could start recognizing that you're not that feeling. And you look at it and you pause and you evaluate, you look at that feeling and analyze it, and why am I feeling this way? And you try to break it down to what the foundation is of that feeling and try to shatter that foundation, because really these feelings are based on fear, and a lot of the things are holding up on a foundation that we've built a long time ago, and we think that's how we're supposed to deal with the situation. So it comes down to fear a lot. So I'll feel anxious certain things if someone doesn't agree with me on something. I can feel that feeling of wanting to argue with them or prove my point to them, when really it's all just an opinion, and our opinion shouldn't shape everything, and that's what makes everyone so different anyway. And also, this month's reflections are based on step 2, which is admitted to ourself into another. Wait, no. Gosh, why do I keep forgetting that one? Came to believe, I believe, yes, came to believe. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And that one is very true for me, because I can feel a presence. I can feel that there's something more. Just as we are not our bodies, we are something more than that. And I was reading in a book on how we tend to get lost in our body, thinking that this is us. We are not our body. We are not our brain or mind. The mind is just something that is like a computer. The brain is something that it's a computer, and it tells us what to do. It tells us to move our arm and stuff. It tells us to breathe. It does that on its own, subconsciously, if that makes sense. Involuntary. So there's like involuntary, there's voluntary, and then there's the acupuncture system, all in our bodies. And the voluntary ones are our thoughts and stuff. So we're thinking these things. So when we're thinking a certain feeling about a situation, our body will create something to correlate with that feeling. So when we're thinking we're stressed about something or angry or anxious, our body will go along with it, and it will start reacting in a certain way. Like when you're anxious and you feel your chest tense up, you feel yourself not being able to focus. It's that fight or flight thing that our brain has done forever. And also for the involuntary stuff, it will affect that too, because our heart rate will start going faster. But anyway, getting sidetracked there. There's more to us than just all that. The fact that we're here is amazing. The fact that we're being able to see, to listen, to feel, to touch. These are all great things, but that is truly not who we are. We have to understand that there is something more powerful, and we can't live our lives in fear and just think this is it. this body's all we got. Once the body's gone, we're done. It's like, I think we all know there's something more important to that. So admitting that to ourselves is great. Understanding that there's something more to this life than just our body and our mind is a great realization. But that doesn't change the fact that we are alcoholics or that we're addicts, because we're still a human being in this body. And with that comes a lot of different feelings. And we should use this time on earth to learn as much as we can and become become one with that infinite universe, if you will. There's a power greater than us, and it's difficult for some people to acknowledge, the agnostics and the atheists, and it's a hard thing. But if you're even in that moment where you're in a meeting or you're just trying to become sober, you got to admit there's got to be something more powerful than yourself, because that could be very depressing if you're thinking you're the main thing, and if you can't handle it, then it just can't be done. And it's just not the case. You're just stuck in a way of thinking that you think is normal, and it's not. And there's plenty of people out there to help you, and don't ever get stuck in that mode by yourself thinking, I can't do this. You always have someone you could reach out to, and they can give you help. And it's a scary thing because people don't do that, and I've done it where I felt guilt to even reach out to people that were sober when I was in a relapse. And I wish I had done that, because it would have saved me a lot of turmoil. But then it's like a catch-22, because if I had done that, maybe I wouldn't have got it the way I got it now. It's very weird. You could think about ifs and all that, but all that really matters is right now in this moment. In this moment, you can always have someone to talk to. You can always reach out to someone. I don't know. There's just something more to everything, and I hope you guys feel that presence, and you can find that presence. And also where it says, through drinking I had lived every nightmare I had ever had, was so true for me, because I look at all these major things in my life, and they were all associated with alcohol, drugs, drinking. Whether it was me doing it or whether it was my childhood growing up, you're around it, and those have effects on your life and your thinking, and that foundation that you build your thinking on. Like for me, it was normal. It was normal to be a drunk, and it was normal to be around drugs and alcohol and see all that. And it's just what it is, and now I'm at that point in my life where I know that's not the way it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with my past. I guess wrong is how you look at it. It's just what made me what I am today, and I trust the process of life, and I could carry this on to my 2 children now, and it'll be great, and they won't have to see that. And it's all a cycle, and there's no blame on anyone. We all accept what we've done, and we just move forward with it. And same with like a relapse. If you mess up, don't sit in it and think that's it, messed up. It's like, no, you just stop, and you stop again, and don't beat yourself up that you messed up. You're still alive. Nothing major happened. And I always say that. It's like, don't get stuck in the relapse and say, I'm going to quit tomorrow, because it's just not going to happen once you're back in it like that, and you're going to keep doing it till something bad happens. I'm just happy that my obsession with alcohol has left, and I'm very fortunate. And this is in 2 years, and there's no timetable for anyone really, but the fact that I know today on Super Bowl Sunday I have no urge to drink, and I'm completely happy with it. And my counselor was talking to me about it in our class, saying like, what are we planning on doing? This is like National Drinking Day for America pretty much. And I just was like, every day was National Drinking Day for me. Every day was a reason to drink. Everything was a reason to drink. So once that obsession is actually lifted, you don't look at anything like, oh man, I'm missing out if I'm not drinking. Like, you're not missing out on anything. You're going to have a fun time. You're going to just, you're going to feel better in the morning. There's so many attributes to not doing it, but, you stick with it, and you get that help, and you realize that you're not the center of the universe, and there's something much more out there for you to do, and trust in that life, and trust in the process, do the next right thing. Life is a beautiful thing, and I can vouch for it, because my life was in shambles, and it was bad. I was on the verge of getting in serious trouble. I was on the verge of dying. I was on the verge of losing everyone that really cares about me. And now I have it all, I have everything I need, and I'm just continuing to become a better person. And I remember being in one of my first meetings about year and a half, maybe even only a year ago. There was a guy up there talking about all these felonies he was facing, and things and really bad scenarios, and he was selling heroin. And he told of his court experience, and he went in there, and he'd stopped doing all that stuff. He completed a program, and he's in sobriety still, and or was. And the judge had even lifted all those felonies. And I looked at that in a way of like, well, surely I can do something then, if I just continued to do the next right thing. And in the course of that year, I was still getting anxious over things like the next court date, what's going to happen. And it all ended up working out. And there's obstacles that come along the way, but you change with those obstacles. You evolve with them. You just do a different route. Don't ever hold on to the idea of this is exactly how it has to be. If it doesn't go that way, then all hope is gone. Because, like I've said before, all plans are subject to change almost like 90% of the time, or whatever it is. Like, they're never going to go exactly the way you want. To think it will is pretty insane, because your plans involve a lot more than just yourself. So all these variables with other people and places, times, things. I mean, for me, I was very scared about court and stuff, but my whole court got pushed back almost a year because of COVID-19. And as horrible of a thing as that is, it benefited me greatly. And, I'm not thankful for it. I'm just trusting the process, that there is a higher power and a bigger thing at play than what I know or can pretend to know. And it does it for everyone. So to see the positive in things is very vital, and to just trust the process no matter what. Don't go back to using or drinking. Don't change what you're doing. You can't. And even if it comes to a point where you have to do jail time or do something, just do it. You got to go through it. That time will go by quickly, and you will be where you need to be. And again, time goes by quickly with everything. This life is short. So we should focus on becoming better every day, and don't waste any time sitting there with the what ifs, and waste any time like, I'll do it tomorrow. Do it now, and get it going. And that's all I got. Love you guys. Go Chiefs. I hope they get a victory today. And that's all I got. Thank you guys. One day at a time. Bye.